Hey, y'all, welcome back to a very special episode of the Late Night Vision Show, episode 395. We are glad to be back here. And this is a special episode, like I said, because it is Thanksgiving. And to help me introduce the topic, what we're going to be talking about, and just everything in general, the owner of Outdoor Legacy, Mr. Jason Robertson. Happy Thanksgiving, man. How's it going?
Happy Thanksgiving, man. I
Yeah.
am glad to be here. And this show is pre-recorded, by the way. We are not. I
I don't
am
have,
not leaving Turkey to come up here
yeah,
and
true,
record. I just not going to happen. So,
true.
yeah. But it's funny because Thanksgiving is obviously on Thursdays, and we release this show on Thursdays. So
Hmm.
this year we wanted to do something different. Sometimes in the past we have kind of taken the week off and recorded a show where we just talked about different things, whatever. I know the last year or two, I think we've gone on and had a show with maybe some of the best of series, which I know we've been doing. But today we wanted to do something a little bit different and just kind of relax. So,
Yeah.
we have been in the thick of the best of 2025 series here on the Late Night Vision Show. We just finished up last week with the best high end thermal rifle scopes, our favorites out of the
Hmm.
lineup. And so now the only thing really left is maybe to talk a little bit about some handheld binoculars, maybe some digital night vision. So we've got a few more shows that we're going to be doing. I'm excited to get to those soon. But we wanted to take a break and we figured that those of you who are fans of the show, normal, loyal listeners, you probably wanted a break too. You are tired of hearing about scopes. So
Yeah.
today we're just going to actually talk about and celebrate what this day is,
Hmm.
and it's being thankful. And Hans and I both have a whole lot to be thankful for,
Hmm.
as all of us do. So we're going to talk about that today. And you may say, guys, what does this have to do with night hunting? What does this have to do with thermal optics? I'm not interested, and that's no problem. No issue. We're not forcing anybody to watch this show. But again, we've got a lot of loyal listeners who've been around a long time. And for whatever reason, they're bored enough that they like to tune in, even when we're talking about random
Right.
stuff. So we wanted to do a show just a little bit different today and kind of relax and give everybody a break.
Hmm.
But real quick, before we get in the show, I'm going to make this quick. Guys, if you are a loyal listener, you know who we are. You know what we're doing. If you are just somebody that's kind of randomly tuning in, I just want you to know what we do. As Hans mentioned, I do own Outdoor Legacy. Hans is a salesman for me there. We've got another salesman named Garrett. We've got ladies in the office. What we do is we are a white glove service full time dealer that sells nothing but night vision and thermal optics. And we've got stuff that starts down at, $700, 800, stuff that goes all the way up to $8,000. So we've got
Hmm.
something for everybody. But what we do is rather than just have the website and sell this stuff, we want to be experts in what we sell, and we want to help you pick the right optic. So you call us at 877-350-1818 if you need help, and we help you pick that right optic for you and then help you make that purchase right there with the ladies over the phone or on our website. And that's the way we do business. Is it's a one-on-one business where again we give you our expert advice. Again, if you already know what you want, you can go to outdoorlegacy.com and order it there. But we would love to have your business. That's what keeps this show going. So back to the issue
Hmm.
at hand. It is Thanksgiving. So much to be thankful for. Hans, this is his idea. He basically said, Jason, let's talk about some stuff that we're thankful for. And I think the issue is I don't know where you start and I don't know where you stop. I don't have a lot of things that are just like uh, you know, oh, today there's this one big giant thing, but there's so many things. There's
Yeah,
so much to be
there
thankful
is.
for that is just it's kind of overwhelming when you sit down and there's that song that we used to sing in church when I was a kid, and it was like count your many blessings, count them one by one. You
Hmm.
start doing that, you're going to be here a while, because we've
Yeah.
all got so much to be thankful for. So
Well,
Hans, I'm going to let you kick this off and tell us what you're thankful for this year.
yeah, we're just going to hit the highlights for the year. We don't have to count every blessing, but we're going to hit the
There
highlights.
you go.
So,
Yeah, we need to keep the show fairly short. People
yeah,
got turkey to
so
eat.
I would say I would say the first thing is obviously our customers and calling in and all of the great people that we get to talk to every day. This show definitely is what powers, or Outdoor Legacy is what powers this show. And we want to thank all of y'all. And we're very thankful for the blessing of your business. That's one of the biggest things. But I want to kick it off because I'm going to show a quick video. This is my 17-year-old daughter. She got baptized just not that long ago, a few weeks ago. And as you can tell, she is not a young child. She's 17. So in our church, our community, we, and however, whether you were baptized young or old, or it doesn't really matter, but we try to wait until the kids, I guess, are old enough to understand exactly why they're being baptized, and accepting Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, and what all of that means, because there's a kind of a heavy weight to all of that and understanding. So she did accept the Lord Jesus Christ as her Savior. She was baptized. We were there to see, obviously we were there to see it, and film and catch it all on camera. So Jason, I don't know about you, but I've been baptized many times, and I'll tell you why. And it's kind of a funny story. If you grew up in the South as a Southern Baptist and you went to church camp during the summer, you were going to get baptized every summer. So they were going to dunk you in water every summer. If you grew up in the 80s and you were Southern Baptist and you went to church camp, there's no telling how many times, Jason, I've been baptized. I lost count, to be honest with you. I know that I was baptized as a baby. I know I was baptized several times as a kid, but that's just part of it. And that was, I don't know, that was, it seems to have changed in the church here, especially in our church, that it's now we're waiting till the kids grow up. They get more understanding and knowledge within the Word of God. And that's great. I agree with that. I don't, necessarily agree depending, but as far as young or old, it doesn't matter. But I do think that at some point it does help to be baptized after you have a full understanding. But yes, I've been baptized numerous times, and you might have too. I don't know.
Only once. I avoided it, but I do know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, church camp. And when we went to church camp, it was the old time Southern Baptist where it was obviously during the summer, you played volleyball and the boys had to wear long pants, the girls had to wear long dresses, and, couldn't show anything at all, but enjoyed summer camp. But yeah, we were getting dunked in the water. So that's my first blessing. That was great to see. Oh, you want to?
No, I was laughing. I was over here just laughing at your stories of summer camp. I have no idea how we got to summer camp, but this was a turn I didn't expect, but it's great. I mean, I'm loving it. So it's.
Yeah. Well, church camp. I mean, what are you going to do? Exactly. That's the first blessing. Oldest daughter getting baptized. She's a senior this year. So man, there's a lot of blessings going on, a lot of scary times, a lot of reflection. When my daughter is a twirler, she plays tennis, and I have two daughters. If you don't know, I've got one that's a senior, I got one that's an eighth grader. The senior, she's involved in twirling and in tennis. So it seems like right now we're having a lot of kind of last moments, like last time you're gonna see her twirl, at halftime at a home game. The last tennis match at their school. And there's just a lot of reflection going on. All of it is a blessing. It's also very scary, to think that you're going to have a kid that's going to be going off to college very soon. But I feel like that, I don't know, say I'm struggling, but there's happiness and there's sadness at the same time. But I want to move on to a blessing that blew my mind this year. And it is something that, so my entire life, as long as I can remember, I've wanted to find an Indian arrowhead. And some people have found them, stumbled on them. They've either tried to do, they're trying to do it, or they just randomly find one. I've always wanted to find one. Just even since I was a kid, at the YMCA, I was in this thing called the Indian Guides at YMCA, and it was basically, well, we kind of dressed up like Indians and pretended to be Indians.
Probably
it was kind of like
do that anymore.
They can't. It is not politically correct. You cannot have Indian Guides at the YMCA.
80s were a wild time.
Oh yeah, we had the headbands and the wooden axes and stuff. But I would say, yeah, you can't do that. But we would basically pretend to be Indians, and it was I guess maybe it was for the kids that didn't have enough money to be in Boy Scouts, that couldn't afford all the uniforms. So we were put in there. But I would say, we did that in the summer too with the Indian Guides camps, and I just always wanted to find one. And this year it's been really like, I don't know, weighing heavily on me. Like I need to start looking. We live in East Texas. There's been Indian encampments around where we live. There was a famous Indian battle, the Battle of the Natchez, just a few miles from where we live. So it's very rich Indian community here in where we live in East Texas. And I'll be dang if I wasn't basically in my front yard. I walked out there one morning. I was drinking coffee. I might have been on the phone, and I was just kind of just walking around enjoying the cool weather. And I see this dude right here in the sand, just barely. All I could see was just a dime sized part of the very top of this arrowhead. And if you're listening online, you might want to go check it out. And I start scraping it off. I kind of get the sand off the edges. It was definitely buried in there pretty hard. Got it, finally pulled it out, and I'll be dang if it is not the most perfect Indian arrowhead that I've ever seen. And I'm going to show some pictures of how close I found this to my house. I was 30 yards, Jason, from my front door when I found this, when I found this arrowhead, and I was dumbfounded. I was so excited. I ran in and told my wife, and I said, "You never believe what I just found." She knows that I've wanted to find an Indian arrowhead. She could have cared less. No, she was like, "Oh, that's cool," but that was about it. I had talked about that for like a solid week straight about finding this
so
thing.
let me just,
This is
I want to say
beautiful.
how excited he was.
Oh my gosh.
Hans calls me, and he's called me after he's killed big East
Yeah.
Texas whitetail bucks. He's called me after he's killed 300-pound hogs. He's called me after he's made huge sales at Outdoor Legacy. He's called me out a lot of exciting things. His daughter, going to the state championship in
Oh yeah.
tennis, all these things. This man was more excited
Oh my
about this
gosh.
arrowhead in his front yard.
I
I
was
mean, he
beside
was
myself.
like a kid. It was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Absolutely. Man, I was beside myself. I'm still beside myself. I have it, I keep it in this plastic case and I keep it
Oh
in my
man.
safe, and I will go in, Jason, and I will just go and look at it and just, I mean, however old it is, it really doesn't matter. Just to think that the last person that touched this is probably the person that made it a
That's right.
long time ago. And that is just a really cool
It is.
thing. It's got me fired up to kind of want to go find some more, and I just don't have time, especially this time of year with it being as busy as we are at Outdoor Legacy. But I don't know, man. It's just, to me, it was almost like a blessing from God. He knew that I wanted to find this arrowhead, and he's like, just put it there at my feet by my front door. And it's just crazy. And I know he's not sitting around just like, okay, with everything going on, let's give Hans an arrowhead. But I don't know. It's just like, it's so random that to find one out there and not even be looking. So that's a big blessing of mine. You did mention one too, also my daughter Macy going to state in tennis this past summer, so that was a big deal. We got to go and travel and see her play tennis. But the last one I want to talk about, Jason, is, and we'll grab it real quick. Is I made a commitment to myself at the beginning of the year, January 1st, that I was going to read the entire Bible in a year. And I've actually done it. I just finished. I was reading
Wow.
the
You've already
Christian.
done it?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I doubled up. So there was a time where
Wow.
I kind of missed a few weeks. So I like doubled up on my reading. And when I caught up, I just continued to double up. So I started
Wow.
January 1st, finished, Thanksgiving. So I finished just a little bit earlier. But it was, I read the Christian standard version this time. The first time this is the second time I've done it. The first time I did it, was the I did the NLT, the New Living Translation.
Hmm.
I think next I'm going to start the ESV. I want to get into
Hmm.
the ESV version, but you know, it's the second time I've done it, and I feel like, man, this time I'm older. The last time I did it was 10 years ago. I've done it, doing it this time. I don't know if it's just like being older or more mature that I feel like I'm every time I read it, I feel like I understand
Sure.
more. You know what I mean? Like it's just like,
Sure.
oh, obviously it's like watching a movie again or listening to a song again. You're like, oh, you pick up on something. It's like you pick up something new and have a greater understanding of what God is truly saying through the Bible, and just the things that you pick up on, and with the prophecy of Jesus before he even even was even here with us. I mean,
Hmm.
it's just amazing. But that to me, I don't know if that's a blessing, but it was something that I see as a blessing is understanding the Bible more as I read it. I want to, continue on. It was something that I tasked myself to do, and going out and hunting at night, I would listen to the scriptures that I was supposed to read that night. I would listen to it through the Bible app, so I was getting my
Oh,
time
that
in
doesn't
while.
count. You got to start over. That's no good.
No, I'm not. No, because I got two jobs, man, and I got to kind of fit it in. But I didn't do that much. I will say because
Nah, I'm teasing. It
I
counts.
know
It counts.
it counts, but it was no, I was it was pretty cool.
That's
I
awesome.
really feel
I
like
knew
I've
you
gained a
had
lot
said
and grew.
you had mentioned that you were going to do it. I didn't know if you were still doing it, and I tell you what, to do it by November is pretty impressive because
The plan that
I've started them, and I don't think I've ever completely finished it.
well,
I haven't tried in a long time, but man, I've gotten
so
close, and then I just fall off the wagon.
I wouldn't recommend, and I'm going to say this, and I don't know if I would recommend again just doing the 365 read the Bible in a year.
Right,
Because what I feel like is you get into a mode where you're just doing it just to complete the task,
right,
and
sure.
you're not actually studying. So the reading per day was a lot. It was like four different chapters out of four different
Hmm.
chapters of the book out of the Bible. And so you're just it's a lot of reading, and I felt like at
Sure,
times I was not taking the time to really go in depth and understand. So now I think moving forward, instead of just trying to, I will continue to read every day, but instead of like getting through it in a year, I want to focus on like one chapter a day and really
sure.
like read it and then read. I've got a, a, a book that basically goes in depth, a commentary part of the Bible.
Hmm.
So it just basically goes into depth as far as what each chapter means. And so I'm going to use that in conjunction and listen. So I really want to like focus on not just getting through it, but understanding it. But anyway, those are just a few of Jason, and like you said, all the blessings that we could talk about with
Sure.
business and with my daughter and the arrowhead, and continuing to get closer to Christ through reading the Word every day. Um, and that doesn't mean obviously we have struggles. There's no doubt about it. Jason and I talk
Sure.
every day. We probably talk sometimes more about our struggles that we're having than we do our blessings.
Exactly. Then
But
yeah,
our
that's right.
but our
That's
blessings
right.
definitely are way bigger than our challenges
For
or
sure.
struggles. Yeah. So
Well, and I'll try to keep this shorter. I know we're kind of going longer than we wanted to, but that's okay. I mean, nobody has to watch this show if it's good for Hans and I, if nobody else. So, you know, there is so much to be thankful for. I think that one thing that I really have thought about more, and this happens, the older you get, the more you realize this, but our health is something that we just take for granted until
mhm.
you can't take it for granted, until you
Yeah.
do have a health issue, you do have a health scare, or something happens. And I know we've got people listening to this that have got health issues. There may be people that got really serious things, cancer or other diseases, and man, I mean, I just, again, when you start when you start seeing either people in your family or friends or whatever, again, older we get, when we're young, we don't think about these kinds of things near as much. We get older, like, man, alive. So it's one of those things that we're thankful for, but it could all change tomorrow. It could change this
Mm-hmm.
afternoon. I mean, nobody knows, but I can be thankful for the health that I and my immediate family has had.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a buddy of mine, a really good friend of mine that is just a few years older, early 50s, super good guy, and he comes down just randomly, doesn't feel good, goes to the doctor, and the guy's got leukemia, very very rare form, bad stuff, and he's been basically this is I didn't really even intend to talk about this, but it just kind of has made me realize how quickly things change. This guy goes in on a Sunday afternoon to the ER. And since then, he's essentially been quarantined to nobody but his wife and sometimes his daughters uh, for, I think he's going on over 4 months now. And he's got many, many, many more months locked in a hospital room at this point. It's just, bad stuff. And so I think we just take that for granted. We get out of bed and we get up and everything's great. And we just don't think about how important that is. And we're all going to face some sort of health issues or trials at some point. So I think just again, walking beside him and hearing his struggles, have made me be, more thankful. And this
Mm-hmm.
guy's got a super great attitude about it all. And, he's spending his time, reading the Bible and really, getting closer to Christ. And so anyway, he's been an inspiration to me as he fights this battle
Mm-hmm.
of cancer. So anyway, I think this year I've just been really thankful for health. You know, I know this is, it may seem kind of silly to talk about, but I'm very thankful for our business. I'm thankful for Outdoor Legacy, and here's a reason. You know, without this business, I mean, it provides, you know, for multiple families. I mean, and I know
Mm-hmm.
any business does that's successful in paying the bills, but to me, I'm just so thankful. We've got a great team of people. In the office, we've got Angela and Jessica and Michaela.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever called and you've talked to any of them, these ladies are very nice. They're very good at what they do. They're very sweet. And everybody that calls and talks to them compliments on, hey man, I talked to whichever one of them and they were great and they were so nice and they were so kind. And so for me as an employer, it's awesome to know
Mm-hmm.
that the first contact that people have when they call our number to do business with us is with somebody that's doing their job and going to take care of them and it's nice and kind. And I've got Garrett, I've got Hans that are doing sales, and again, you guys, y'all know Hans. You're watching this show. Garrett, he's awesome. Everybody that talks to Hans and Garrett, again, they understand these guys are real hunters, that they're using every single one of these optics. They can answer their questions. They can help them. They're being honest. They're not trying to sell the most expensive optic. They're trying to find out what is right for them. And these guys, their honesty and their dedication, because this time of year, it's tough, man. It's long
Mm-hmm.
hours. It is all day on the phone, and it wears on you. I mean, by 3 or 4 o'clock, you're just trying to push, and sometimes it's after 5. Hans took his last call one day this week at 5:30, 5:40. Sometimes it's running into supper time because you're just trying to get all the calls in, and so I'm just very thankful. And I'll be honest, we've come off of a somewhat of a difficult year for this industry. Starting about May, all through the summer, I can just tell you the manufacturers, every dealer was struggling compared to the past. and it's been a year. There's been a lot of things going on. I mean, between tariffs and the economy and just the way the industry is and things changing. So the future was a little bit uncertain. I mean, it still is to a degree, but May, June, July, August, there was a lot of manufacturers and dealers. We're very friendly with a lot of our competitors. There's a lot of other, good thermal companies in this industry, and I talk to a lot of the owners of those companies every week. And it's a small industry, and a lot of us get along well. And there was a lot of struggles, a lot of concerns, and we've gotten into fall and things have gotten busier and may not be what it was the last couple of years, but it's a lot better. And so I'm very thankful for that because we just really didn't know what this fall was going to look like. And I tell you, you have a few more summers like that, and if that bleeds into the busy season, and the busy season's not busy, this industry is going to look different in a few years. And so, anyway, that's not any kind of like sob story. I'm thankful that this fourth quarter is started off really good, and it's been great. And I'm just thankful again for the employees that I've got. This is the thing, and I tell my friends this when I'm talking to them, other business owners. I hear people talk about, again, other business owners, man, I can't find anybody that wants to work, or I can't find people to show up, or they don't do their job, or they, all the woes of finding good people. And I'm not going to lie to you. I've got every single person that works for us is fantastic, does their job. They're doing things on the weekend, they're doing things after hours that I'm not asking them to do. They're dedicated, and it is such a blessing to know that I can walk away, whether I'm going on a trip, whether I'm taking the afternoon off, whether I've got to go do something with my kids, whatever it is, and it's in good hands. And I mean that from top to bottom. All of these people are doing their job. Our warehouse crew that we've got, they do a great job. They're getting all these packages out. They're busting their rear end. And so I am just very, very, very thankful because owning a business is not for the faint of heart. If you own a business, you know what I'm talking about. There's highs and lows and ups and downs, and sometimes those can be 5 minutes apart. But if you take out the struggle of worrying about people showing up to work and doing their job, the rest of it you can work through. So I'm very, very thankful for that. Just so much to be thankful for this year. Again, family, friends. We've got a great church that we go to, a great church family there, a great pastor and leadership. And so it's just so many things are great, so much to be thankful for. Yes, I could find some little things to complain about, but gosh, I mean, they just pale in comparison to all the blessings that we have received. And guys, this show right here, most of y'all probably tuned out a long time ago, and that's fine. There's no issue. I don't blame you at all. But this show is a blessing to Outdoor Legacy because this is what feeds the machine of Outdoor Legacy. It's what causes so many people to say, hey, I don't know who these two East Texas rednecks are on here, but they seem like decent enough guys. I want to give them a business. I'm going to call them. And without that, you know, Outdoor Legacy wouldn't be what it is. And so we're just so thankful. I mean, I know Hans is as well because this is how he makes his living. It's how he takes care of his family. Is we are just so thankful for all of you that have chosen to do business with us. We understand there's big box stores, there's big online stores, there's other dealers that do what we do. We like to think what we do is special, and we like to think that, we offer some of the best service out there, but you have a choice to make. And it just means so much to us for all of you that choose to do business with us. And a lot of you over and over and over, you keep coming back to us. And I just got to be honest. I'm so thankful for that because if not, this show goes off and Hans and I are at Walmart seeing if we can get one of those jobs pushing those buggies. And we're getting
That's
old.
right.
We don't want to do that, I
Well,
mean, it's.
yeah. I'm definitely thankful because the other morning I was rolling out and dropped the kid off at school, and I go to the gas station and I realize I'm like, man, I'm wearing like an old pair of shorts, an old nasty t-shirt, some Crocs, walking into the gas station. I'm like, man, it is nice to not have a real job where I got to get dressed up, because I did it. I had the professional job, corporate job for many years, and I had to wear nice clothes every day, and man, it is nice not to do that. But I'll just say this: if you are, and you've probably seen, if this is your first time here, or if you've seen a bunch of shows, you know that what we hear and what we're here to do with the Late Night Vision Show is to bring you really a lot of information. We do some of these fun shows every now and then. We do topic shows. But if you see a lot of our content, it's based on night vision and thermal reviews, uses in the field, just put out a lot of information. And we do that not so necessarily that, and a lot of you do, but sometimes you'll watch the video and say, okay, that's what I want, and you'll go to outdoorlegacy.com and buy it. But what we do is to help put that information out there for you, the consumer, so it helps you with your search. What we're trying to do is help you narrow down. A lot of people get overwhelmed and say, man, I'm trying to find a scope, and feels like there's 30 different options out here. Every time I open Facebook, somebody's hollering at me to buy this scope, or some ad pops up of a brand I never heard of. And we're trying to be one place where you can go and get good, accurate information that's going to be helpful to narrow down your search. That's not necessarily mean to pinpoint exactly what you need, but what a lot of people do is watch our shows and call us. Like Jason said, we're especially this time of year, we're on the phones all day, every day. And it's from people like you that watch the show and say, hey, I watched the Late Night Vision Show. I want to buy a scope. I'd like to buy from you, and I just need help. There's 4, 5, 6 different scopes I'm looking at, and we can narrow that down and help you narrow that down through a very short consultation of just 2 or 3 different scopes that might be right for exactly what you're doing within your budget, and to help you decide. Ultimately, you're going to make the decision. We're not going to make it for you. We're there to make sure you don't choose the wrong scope. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to be your decision, and it's going to be one that you're going to be confident with because you got all of the correct information without being oversold, or the performance of these scopes being oversold. I would say if you're interested in having a consultation and you want to buy from Outdoor Legacy, give us a call, 877-350-1818, outdoorlegacy.com. Jason, I will mention one more blessing,
Okay.
and you had a lot to do with it, and I've gotten so many compliments
What it
lately
is.
of our website. And I know that if you have not gone over to our website, it is amazing. And I know Jason has spent many hours, many days, because I try to get a hold of him on the phone, and he's in some conference call with the website and the marketing people. And I know it has been a very long process. But our website, I get more compliments of just the research, where you can go and research scopes by price category. You can see review videos that are linked to different scopes. I mean, it has been the new website has been a blessing, and we do continue to get compliments on that. So I figured I'd end with that, Jason.
Well, that's awesome. Guys, listen, we know this is an odd show. We know that it doesn't interest everybody, may not interest anybody, and that's okay. We're not forcing anybody to watch. But if you have watched this long, thank you. It tells me you're probably a fan of the show, and you've probably been around a long time, and we appreciate you very much. And if there's anything that we can ever help y'all with, you know how to get a hold of us. Guys, we hope you have a great Thanksgiving. We hope you get to spend some time with your family, reflect on your blessings that are in your life, the things that you're thankful for. And we will be back, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. And we plan to have a few more best of shows to kind of round out this season of 2025 best of. Guys, thanks for watching. Y'all stay safe.